Welcome to Porter School. We are so proud of our Porter School here, our rural Porter School. Did you know that Porter School is world renowned? Yes, educators from all over the world come right to this school to see what it is we're doing right and how we're educating and teaching our children. They have come from as far away as South Africa and Russia and Japan and Canada. So we're very proud of what we're doing here. I began teaching here at Porter School in 1912. But before I was hired, I told the county board members that I had two conditions that would have to be met before I would sign the contract. And the first condition was that I would be given freedom in making changes in the courses of study and the daily procedures. And second, that I would be able to have a house of my own. Well, you understand I didn't want to live 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there. But fortunately, they agreed to my conditions and I signed the contract. And then they took me out to the school. The building had not been used for 20 years. It was in a sad state of repair. And there was no money to fix it up. Well, the school board was sympathetic, but their hands were tied because there wasn't any money. So I put my thinking cap on and I organized the community, just brought them all together and got the community to agree to do the labor, and then persuaded the parents to donate the supplies that were needed to do a lot of the reconstruction. And then later on, with twisting many arms and coddling and cajoling, but we got a basement built at the church and a furnace installed and what else? Oh, a water tank. I felt we needed a water tank so that we wouldn't have to haul water into the school building. So that was a lot of work, but it was worth it. Now, I need to tell you that I began teaching school when I was only 15. And I had decided when I was only 6 years old that I wanted to be a teacher. But I had gone out to El Dorado, Kansas to visit my aunt. And while I was there, I had an opportunity to teach the school, and so I signed a contract and agreed without even talking to my parents about it. But it was a good move. And then I taught in Kansas and I taught in Missouri, and I ended up teaching here at the model rural school located on the campus of the normal school. The model rural school. You see, they transported children in from the country. I found that unrealistic. It was not good. And I asked that I be reassigned to another school. And it was, but you see, what had happened was the President, Theodore Roosevelt, had appointed a commission called the Commission for Rural Schools, Commission for Rural Living. And the purpose of that was to reform country farm life. And I was very enthusiastic about the whole process, but not the model rural school. Well, I must tell you that in 1912, I married H. Clay Harvey. He was a teacher, a mathematics teacher at the normal school. But after only a few years, I discovered that he was not the gentleman that I thought he was, or that he pretended to be. When I brought my widowed mother to live with us, he objected strongly. And later when I hired a servant, he was very upset about it. I was very disappointed and embarrassed when after 9 years of marriage, Mr. Harvey sued me for divorce. He charged in the divorce that I was subjecting him to indignities which rendered his life intolerable. Well, I countersued, of course, for divorce, and I charged him with being a drunkard and to be intolerant of womanhood, and that he had had correspondence with other women, and that he had attacked a young woman at the normal school against her strong objections. Well, this whole story was published in the Kirksville Daily News.
Oh, yeah.
And in the end, I was the one whose contract was not renewed at the normal school. But the good news was that I was awarded $3,250 in the divorce, and I was judged the injured and innocent party. I told you that crisis in my life, not because you needed to know that much about it, but because that crisis in my life is what propelled me into being the teacher that I am today, and specifically at Porter School. And Porter School is been the biggest blessing that I have had in my life. I mean, God had a plan for my life, a plan for good and not for evil. But Porter School is the center of much activity in this whole 9 square miles. Porter School District is 9 square miles. And the school is the center of activity here. And it's used for civic activities and cultural activities. And we're all just so very proud of the school. We were the first school in the state to have a school bus. Well, it was a horse-drawn carriage, but it was a school board. And in 1915, I mean a school bus. In 1915, we started a poultry club and a pig club. And with the proceeds that we made from selling the eggs, we were able to rent musical instruments, and we started a band. And our band is well known over the state. And in a few years, we had enough money from the money we made with the pigs and the chickens that we invested $1,000 in musical instruments, and we had one of the best bands in the state. It's all works together. Where there's a will, there's a way. And you must remember that. Where there's a will, there's a way. Well, it's getting late, and I have to walk home. But I do want to remind you that we're having a sing-along here on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. It's free, and you're all invited. Thank you.
Can you tell us anything about your doll collection?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I know you had a large display of dolls. My dad remembers seeing them.
Is that right? Unfortunately, all I know is what's right here.
Yeah. I know that was unfair.